Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Monster Hunter World video, and today I want to talk about one-phasing Kulve Taroth, how our team did it, and some general strategies you should look to apply if this is something you want to do. Now, just so everyone is on the same page, when I say one phase, what I mean is defeating Kulve Taroth in the very first run on Pursuit Level 1 with, in this case, just one team. What's the purpose of doing this? Well, mainly it's just for fun, it's a nice challenge, but at the same time it can also be a quick way to farm, since even in this instance, in the run we did, we were able to get reward level 15 in our single run. So while that's not the maximum reward level, for what is essentially 19 minutes, it's a pretty efficient and fun way to farm. But to be clear, this is by no means the only way to do it, and if you are playing as a full team, with a full gathering hall and you want to maximise your rewards, then you should definitely aim to target all the objectives across multiple runs before you repel her. But if you want a challenge, then consider trying this. So, if you do enjoy this and you do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below and let me know if you've tried this and also if you've got any good rewards since Kulve has been back. Now, to begin with, let's very quickly go over the builds. I'm not going to spend too long on here since there is room to pick and choose if you like, but we did find after numerous runs and various tests that having at least 2 greatswords definitely helps. Sure, there are other heavy hitting options like hammers or hunting horns, but in those instances we found that due to the KOs they offered, sometimes it actually messed up our rotations a little. As you'll find out later on, we definitely aim for KOs, but not till much later in the fight. So since the greatsword, in this case the Wyvern Ignition, has such high raw damage, it just makes for a great option. In this particular run, myself, TwoSixNine and Paradise are all running variations of a very similar greatsword build. I'm missing some attack jewels, hence why mine is a little bit different to Paradise's, so what I actually did in my case is gem in Bombardier, since when we go for the sleep chops, Paradise with the most optimized set will do the wake up chop, and then I'll take advantage of Bombardier to detonate the bombs for more damage. On top of that, Arekkz, our 4th team member, begins the fight with the Thunder Charge Blade set we did a video on a while back, and uses this until the coat is off, and then in the final room swaps to a status bow set. Using this set, he'll then be able to put Kulve to sleep, and then shortly after that paralyze and KO her and get a really nice chain allowing us to do plenty of damage. And most importantly, get a good number of true charges on the head. And while this is not the only way to do it, this is ultimately what we used for our runs. Also, we will have fireproof mantles, plus 2 people with the glider mantle for the mount bonus, making it easier to mount, and 2 have affinity boosters. But with that in mind, let's talk about the fight. The first phase is pretty simple. Your priority here should be the cannons and the rocks. If you don't know the locations of all the cannons or the rocks that you can drop, then I'll link a video I did down below. But during this phase, you really want to prioritize these. Sure, there will be times where Kulve goes down and you'll have a small opening for damage, but in truth, until she's molten or the gold casing is off the horns, then damage that you do on the ground will be limited. So begin by going around unloading all the cannons, but at the same time have someone stick on Kulve so that you can make sure you drop all the rocks on her head and fire as many cannons at her as possible. If you do this correctly, then either in the first area or essentially as soon as she enters area 2, the horn casing will be broken. Keep in mind, at times she will start moving quickly, so it's really important to make sure that the cannons are loaded in good time. If anyone has spare slots, you can go as far as to gem in heavy artillery for some more cannon damage, but that's not necessary, it's just an option. Anyway, assuming you've done that correctly, the gold casing will either be off or very close. In our case, it came off, so we then move on to area 2. Now at this point, with the casing off, any time she's up, you obviously want to just attack wherever you can, but when she goes down, you want to focus on the head. Keep in mind that in order to break off the coat, you do not have to attack the coat. The coat coming off works around a damage threshold. Once you hit the threshold, she loses the coat, irrespective of where you're attacking, but since we want to break the horns at the end, that's where our focus will be. And this is where a one-phase run and a max reward run will differ. Obviously, if you're going for max rewards, you will chip off all the parts, including on the coat, but that is not the focus here. So in this room, we go for the first mount. This is a good room to get a mount in since it's nice and open and gives you some good opportunities to land some nice attacks. So anytime the head is accessible, your greatsword users will be chopping on the horns. And Arekkz in this instance with the Thunder Charge Blade set has some more freedom to attack wherever he wants, but ultimately we're just working towards that damage threshold. When she moves to area 3, we're then going to focus on the rocks. Now don't be too eager here, you want to make sure that these rocks land because they are big damage. In this run we did actually miss one of them, but luckily thanks to us breaking the gold casing off early, we were able to make up some damage. This area is obviously make or break for the run since you need to lose the coat, but again, anytime she's down, focus on the head, and when you can't reach it, if she's molten, you can attack anywhere, otherwise her front legs are a good spot. once you've done that and our coat is off, it's time for the final phase. In this instance, Arekkz goes back and changes to the bow set, and a couple of us went back to refresh items so we have more life powders, but really at this stage only one person needs to go back. Entering the final area, we are not going to prioritise mounts to begin with. First up, we want to use the statuses. Arekkz begins by putting Kulve to sleep. We place bombs in the neck since we don't want them to be the thing that Paradise hits with the wake up chop. And since I have Bombardier, I ultimately want to set them off. So for damage, we'll use a true charge slash for wake up, and a split second later, I will detonate the bombs. Soon after that, the bow user switches to paralysis, and then the para gives us yet more time to land more true charges on the head. And since the build also has slugger, then after the para, Arekkz spams arc shots so that the raining pellets, or coconuts as we call them, KO Kulve Taroth. So this nice sleep paralysis KO chain gives us plenty of opportunity to land some serious damage on the horns. Now at this stage, we're still saving the mount. We've already pulled one off, and with Glider Mantles, we're going to get the next one pretty quickly. In between that, if Kulve Taroth performs the fire attack like this, we all have piercing pods from the previous room, and we can try and shoot her in the face to cause her to flinch. Again, if you do that, it gives you a very nice opening. But after that, we're then able to get the second sleep. So again, combine 4 more mega barrel bombs, same strat as before, place the bombs in the neck, go for the true charge wake up, and then I detonate the bombs. And at this point, we now begin working towards the mount since we're conscious that we're running out of time, but with the glider mantles thrown on, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. Once mounted, you can then get in position to begin with since she runs towards one of the walls first, then ultimately ends up at the opposite wall. Being there means that you can land some of the attacks before she even goes down, and then of course, follow up once the mount is complete. And in this case, that was the final hit. That's the point that we managed to get the horns off during the first phase. Returning to the Gathering Hall, you can see it's still on Pursuit level 1, but Reward level 15, and those are the rewards that we got. But that, my friends, is how we one-phased Kulve Taroth with our squad. Now, this video was more of a guide to tell you how we did it. However, if you want to watch a complete run that TwoSixNine and Paradise did on stream during the last Kulve Taroth event, then I'll link that down below. That's over on our other channel, Endgame. Be sure to subscribe to that channel if you guys haven't done so already. TwoSixNine and Paradise upload some shorter videos on there, build guides, mini tutorials, and sometimes full runs too, so it's a good place to catch more content from us. Of course, if you have any questions, by all means drop them down below, but otherwise, thank you very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.